Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Spurs show. So first of all, before we start this Spurs show today, slightly out of blue yesterday. It's just that I've tried to record, but my storage ran out on my phone, so that's what I'm recording right now. So hopefully it's a bit better than my iPad quality, because obviously, as you know, on my iPad it's quite a bit fuzzy, and different things. It's same with my phone, but on the iPad, even when I had the ring light on, which I'll show you in a minute. I'll show you right now. The ring light right there, even when I had that on, it wouldn't it would still be fuzzy, so it didn't really make a difference. But yeah, so as you can see, we've got a new background here. It's my bedroom. But yeah, so should be back in a spare bedroom probably next week when I'm gonna get some posters for Spurs. I'm gonna get some Spurs posters off Amazon this week, and yeah. And then also today I'll be doing my matchday roundup. Premier League, and then I'll do another matchday roundup of the UEFA Champions League. And I'll also do a footy news, as I forgot to say today as well. Well, we've got a big footy news. We've also got a big Spurs show as well, to be fair. But yeah, so we've got my iPad here where I'll go over the latest Spurs news and more. Yeah, to get straight into show. And first of all, we will be doing a Spurs review on the game against West Ham. And yeah, so we'll also be going over some match ratings, like player ratings for the match against West Ham, and we'll also be reviewing the Wolfsburger game and more. And also for next week's Spurs show, we should have an intro. I just want to get this video as quick as I can, so I didn't want to do an intro. I didn't want to waste half an hour doing an intro. But yeah. So we're going on to the West Ham game. Another loss for Tottenham. Really poor, 9th position. So Leeds have overtaken Arsenal right now. And they're only 1 point behind Spurs, which is dreadful. I don't think we've ever been only 1 point ahead of a team that's been just promoted, like Leeds are. But yeah, so if we have a look at our form at the moment, we have won. I think it is. We look at the last 6 games. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have won just 1 out of our last 5 games, and I believe it's 2 out of our last 6 games as well. So yeah, but if we look at our West Ham game right now, just quickly. Okay, so West Ham versus Tottenham, 2-1. So yeah. We look at possession real quick. Possession for West Ham, 30.8% possession, and Spurs with 69.2% possession as well. So yeah, we dominated that game really, but I think the main reason for that domination in possession wise is because of Bell coming on. I think in the first half we had 30 or 40% possession, and then skyrockets up to 69%. So yeah. But so the first 5 minutes, Mikel Antonio scored a goal, and he is a good striker. I won't say he's not. I won't say he's a bad striker, but he is a very good striker. And I reckon if they do get Champions League season, I know it's like rivalry, but I hate Chelsea and Liverpool and the other clubs more than them. So they're probably out of Arsenal, Chelsea, and them. They're probably they're probably my least hated team, obviously my most hated team out of London probably be Chelsea, because Joel who probably watches this game, watches this video right now, supports Arsenal, But yeah, so Mikel Antonio, a good striker, but I think it was Kufal put the ball through Reguilon's legs, and then Reguilon backed off. It went to Souček, who was basically next to Reguilon. And Reguilon, but basically Souček passed it back in the Kufal, I think. I can't remember who it was, maybe Bowen or something. So yeah, but then accidentally Souček did actually knock over Reguilon. It was an accident, and people have been saying, Tottenham fans have been saying it should be a free kick, and I'm really half and half on that. Recently this foot was being really soft, penalties given for absolutely nothing. You remember that Salah penalty when he literally got poked in the arm by Ruben Diaz, I believe it was, and he just fell over like a beach whale. But yeah, So the first goal there, and then it was in the box. Mikel Antonio, I think, missed the first goal, missed the first shot. It went straight at Lloris, and then it went back to Antonio, unluckily, and he scored the goal. But yeah, so the main thing we can get from that goal is definitely we need a better defence, definitely. But yeah, so our defence was poor that game, definitely. It always has been poor this season, I think I watched this video the other day, and it said that Tottenham's defence hasn't been good since that Everton away game when Eriksen scored that goal. It hasn't really been good since then. But people saying it was a mistake to sell Jan Vertonghen. I don't think it was a mistake to sell Jan Vertonghen. We got his best years out of him, and I do wish him the best at a new club. But he left in summer, But yeah, so he's got opening goal, and things you probably could have done better is Tanganga and Dyer could definitely done better there. Probably the reason as well. If it was a young goalkeeper, I think we would have saved that. And that is why I think that Tottenham are looking for a new goalkeeper, because of the amount of mistakes that Lloris has been making lately. But yeah, so Dyer and Tanganga really just standing there. One of them could have put like a lunge in, not for probably put a lunge in or something, or like move towards the ball, so it sort of hit them rather than went to the net. But yeah, and then the only chance we had that whole first half, I believe, was a few chances from Harry Kane. But I think our first shot, I'll put if I'm wrong, sorry, but I think our first chance was 42 minutes in when Lamela did that little drive. It was a good dribble, but that was really the best thing we had at that first half. A few shots from Harry Kane as already, but they were off target, You could really tell that the Spurs player lately haven't been to their best. Kane hasn't really scored as much goals as he should be. I can tell you he should have scored about 2 goals against that West Ham team. Still hasn't been playing to his best either. Even with Harry Kane, and people were saying he's only playing bad because Harry Kane's injured, but now Harry Kane's back. He's still not doing that well. He's not back at his best really. Reguilon, I'm not gonna say he was awful, but he was worse than normal. I think the main reason for that is because they probably rushed him. I think that he made a few good runs, and that's probably it. But I think that he wasn't up to his best, so I think they did rush him. But yeah, so then Gareth Bale come for the Lamela, and Totti come on for Tanganga. And yeah, Bale changed the game. Bale changed the game for Tottenham. Without him, we wouldn't have got that for our first goal. We wouldn't have got a goal from Lucas Moura. But that just shows us that I mentioned it at the end of the game review that we need to start Luke, Bale, Son, Kane every single game. Obviously, if they're injured, can't play them. But yeah. Then 47 minutes in, Jesse Lingard did score the second goal for West Ham, made them 2-0 up. Obviously, Tottenham fans are kind of happy because could be offside there. But, I did say before the game, actually, if anyone's going to score for West Ham, please be Lingard. But yeah, assist from Pablo Fornals. Yeah, good through ball. And I think that was a big mistake by Lloris. People say he couldn't have done better, but I think he should have come off his line. And I think that Ledley King and other trainers. I know Ledley King was a centre back, and he is like training centre backs to be better. But I believe they brought in another trainer for the goalkeeper, Lloris. But he should be doing better than. I think that in training this week, Tottenham have really got to focus on that goalkeeping. If I was a Tottenham trainer right now, I'd be focusing on Lloris. Probably after his last few games, because he should have come off his line there and saved that. But yeah, good goal from Lingard. I think Lloris could have done better as well. 64 minutes in, across a corner from Bale, and a good header from Moura, and then the last 20 minutes they really sat back, and we pushed forward because we brought on Dele Alli at left back. They brought him on for Reguilon. I thought it was going to play, centre mid, and it would be a free back of Doherty, Tanganga, Dyer and Sanchez. But he played left back. It wasn't really the best, but yeah, last 20 minutes we had some good chances, but all of them went to waste. I can tell you a few chances like Harry Kane. Probably should have, scored that goal. Probably should have scored at least 2 goals, I said already. This video probably should have scored at least 2 goals that game. But yeah, and then to finish off the game, they brought on 2 substitutions: Benjamin Johnson for Pablo Fornals and Martin O'Neill for Jesse Lingard. But yeah, so really poor defeat, and that has really taught us that the main players we've got to play now is Bale, Son, Kane, because the amount of good games he's been having lately is just mind blowing. Why Joe's not starting him? He did well against Wolfsburg, and people were saying it's a Wi-Fi code. They're a Wi-Fi code. Don't get me wrong, they're not a good team. But you can't really say he's not good because he only did good against a team that's 8th in Austria. I know people like pensioners could probably beat them, but yeah. So probably should be starting every single game now. Bale, Son and Kane, and yeah. So then, if we have a look at some Spurs news quickly before we do the player ratings, I just want to tell you one quick news. I just want to have a look real quick, guys, because it was yesterday that I watched this. I just need to know his name real quick. Sorry, but he's I just need to know this quickly. 1 minute, one minute, guys. Okay, yeah, guys. So Jamie O'Hara, former Tottenham midfielder. Sorry, I did get that news off of Chris Colden, Tottenham fan on YouTube. Go subscribe to him; he's a really good guy. Yeah, so he came out on Talk. Oh my god, on Talk Sport. I always call it Talk. It's a broadband, not a sports show. But yeah, Talk Sport. And he said that with Tottenham are in a crisis. Obviously, he's a Tottenham fan. When you really be at a club for ages, you really turn out like a supporter. Like, say you're like a Leeds fan and you play for, if they play for rivals, you will see, you probably won't play for them, will you? Say you support Man United, you won't play for Man City probably. Only if that's the only team you have to play for. Only if you have to play for them. But yeah. So he said that if this doesn't get sorted out, that we could be trophyless at the end of the season. And the defence we should play is Reguilon, Ben Davies, Tanganga and Doherty, because Tanganga and Ben Davies have pace and Ben Davies is good in the ball. But yeah, and also he said that top 4 is probably out of speaking now, out of reach, but yeah. So yeah, but if we go player ratings real quick, I'll go over that again, what he said in Talk Sport in 1 minute. But if we go over player ratings real quick, who gonna Reece? Right, who gonna Reece in goal first of all? Yeah, so been transferred rumours recently about him going. I'll go over that in a minute as well. But yeah, so didn't really have much to do. I've said 2 chances he probably could have done better in a first goal and second goal. So probably if he did do a bit better, I'm saying that the first goal probably. I know I've said it was his fault already, but I've actually watched it back yesterday. And I've said to myself, probably Tanganga and Dyer's fault, and the whole defence's fault. Don't get me wrong, it's the whole defence's fault. Except for Reguilon probably, because Reguilon was over the side of the pitch. Tanganga was actually in the box. So was Dyer, so was Sanchez. And Lloris couldn't really done much in that first goal, so can't really slate him for not doing well. But yeah, so I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10. Not really the best of games for him. Yeah, a few good saves, but yeah, so I think that has really shown we need to get a new goalkeeper, which is what Tottenham are doing now. They're going for a new goalkeeper, which is good. But yeah, so if we go over to Reguilon next, I think that he played below average, probably about average, for him. He probably played a bit below average, probably below his best. Is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, but do have the best of games there, and you could really tell, he was kind of rushed. It was half and half. He did a few good runs, but then also he was kind of rushed. You could tell a bit. But yeah, so obviously being injured out for a while, you can't really say you were rushed, mate. You were rushed. You're really bad at the game. When you're normally back from an injury, you're not expected to do amazing tackles. You're not expected to score 3 goals a game, score a hat-trick each game. But yeah, Dyer and Sanchez, two man. Get them out of his club. And also Jimmy O'Hara did say that they need to go. If we want to win trophies any season, it'd be next season, 2 years' time, 3 years' time, maybe this season. We need to sell them too, which I completely agree with that. If we're going to move anywhere, if we're going to go anywhere as a club, if we want to challenge for top for maybe even title again, I remember like 3 or 4 years ago when Leicester and Chelsea were at the top of the table, we were fighting for top place, but then we finished second all the time, or third maybe sometimes. They were the good old days, man, when Spurs were not in 9th place. But yeah, I still believe we can get in like 6th place, 5th place maybe, but I think that top 4 is out of reach by now. But yeah, sell them too, I think. And Tanganga, I give him a 5 out of 10. Didn't really have much to do. Obviously out of position really. Should be playing the centre back, but being put out of position, you're not expected to play the best. But for example, of people playing really good out of position is Fabinho and Henderson. I think they've been really solid this season at centre back. But yeah, Tanganga, I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. Come off for half time for Doherty. Next up is Mbele. I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10. Didn't have to do much with either. Højbjerg, did a big mistake really against Man City. Didn't really do much mistakes, luckily, against West Ham. But still didn't have the best games. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. And then we're going to move into the front 4 now. Son, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Had a few good chances, had a few good passes, but didn't really do much again. Lamela had one good run. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. No, 6 out of 10. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. And then Gareth Bale came off for Lamela, changed the game. I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. The highest one so far, And Lucas Moore got the goal. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. And Kane missed the chances. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. So the highest rate for this week is Bale. And if you want me to analyse how West Ham played, they were terrific. They were amazing in the first half. I won't say they did bad, and a good start to second half as well with that goal. But yes, they did really good. And then, yeah, that's all I've got to really say. They did really good. But yeah, so I don't really know what's going to focus. Let's go and focus. No, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so that's it for that. Now we're going to move on to Spurs news now. So obviously Jamie O'Hara did say that if we want to win trophies this season, we need to sell them too, and we need to play a good a lineup forever for the whole season. I know that injuries will change the team up. If Kane gets injured, Vinicius will have to play. If Kane gets injured, Bale will have to play. If Dyer gets injured, other players have to play. But I think he said that we need to stick with one lineup. One lineup, not like change lineup each week in and week out. But yeah, so I think that if you personally ask me what I think the lineup should be, I think it should be from now on Lloris, and then obviously I've said that Tottenham have been linked to various goalkeepers recently. Dean Henderson being the main one, and yeah, so I'll probably play Lloris, Reguilon, Alderweireld, Tanganga, probably Aurier when he gets back, but for now Doherty. In centre mid, when the Celtic get back his class, I'll play him in probably CDM sort of, but for now I'll play Sissoko and Højbjerg, and then I play Son, Mbele, Bale, Kane. I think that's our strongest team by far. If we had like a better centre back, which we could have actually done, because I've read an article today that did say that for that money we paid for Højbjerg and Reguilon, Reguilon's alone also, but we could have got Ruben Diaz. He's been arguably the best centre back in this league, in Premier League this season. And would you guys, even if you're not a Tottenham fan, would you guys personally rather had Ruben Diaz or Højbjerg? I know what I'm going to say. I would definitely say Ruben Diaz, because you can still play for Tottenham. You can still play the Celso and Sissoko. I know Højbjerg's 25 years old, and you've got about 6-7 years left in his prime probably. I'm not his prime, like where he could be at his best, which is kind of his prime, obviously. But yeah, So, if we look at some, look at this article right now, by To the Lane and Back. So yeah, so if you want to know where I get these news from, I get it from One Football, by the way. Really good app. I think you should get it. Is it going to focus? I don't know if it's going to focus. There we go. Focus them. But yeah, so really cool app. But yeah, so if we have a look at this, so I want to read this article real quick. Tottenham, Borussia Dortmund, and Borussia Dortmund are front runners to sign 23-year-old Man United star. Tottenham and Dortmund leading the race for Man United star Dean Henderson. So I think the reason he wants to leave is obviously when you're, I wouldn't say he's up there with the best goalkeepers in the league, but he's probably at least top 10 probably if he played consistently. And he said that if he he wants to play a lot, he has said, and obviously he had that loan move out to Sheffield United, which really probably he's one of the main reasons they actually got that place in the top. I think where's he gonna finish at 9th, and without him, you can see how bad they're doing. Ramsdale is not one of the best goalkeepers in the league, probably the worst goalkeeper in the league, and yeah. So, according to Sky Sports, Tottenham Hotspur and Borussia Dortmund are leading the chase for the summer signing of Manchester United goalkeeper Dean Henderson. The 23-year-old came through the ranks at Man United, but it was during his low spell away at Sheffield United that the Englishman enjoyed his big breakthrough. Henderson helped the Blaze achieve promotion to the top flight and helped them enjoy a fine season in the Premier League in 2019-20. Having returned to Old Trafford last summer, Henderson has struggled to get for game time though, with David De Gea being the first choice goalkeeper under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Obviously, if I was Ole Gunnar, I would still play De Gea over Dean Henderson, but obviously De Gea's way older than Dean Henderson. Dean Henderson's got about 6 years to be at his best. To get to his best, probably got 4 years to get to his best, and then he'd probably have 4 or 5 years to be at his best. But yeah, so I think he's been really good. When he plays, he's really good when he plays. So if you're gonna ask me, would I take him at Spurs? Definitely over Lloris. Yeah. So as a result, he has largely been relegated to appearances in the cup competition with a rare league outing here and there. So that what they mean by that is basically he plays in bad cup matches and teams like Sheffield United. West Brom, teams at the bottom 5, you know what I mean. But yeah, Henderson has grown increasingly frustrated at his situation, and this has put a host of clubs on high alert. But Tottenham and Borussia Dortmund are said to be in front runners as things stand. But yeah, so I'm really happy with that. Tottenham captain and first choice Costa I don't know how to say his name, how you say that word. Hugo Lloris has shown signs of inconsistency this term. Furthermore, his contract runs out in a little over a year, so it makes sense for the club's point of view to line up a long-term replacement for the Frenchman, making Henderson a valuable target. So, obviously he's from France, and people be saying he will go to. He thinks that he will. People will think he'll go to PSG. Obviously the biggest team in France. I think if I was French boss, if I was Pochettino, I'd personally pick Lloris over Kylian Navas. But that's my decision. And then, but however, Henderson signed a new long-term contract worth $120,000 per week with Manchester United last year, which could prove to be a roadblock for Spurs. So yeah. And furthermore, the potential lack of Champions League football might put Tottenham at a disadvantage when compared to Borussia Dortmund, although the German giants themselves are battling for a top 4 finish in Bundesliga. So yeah. And then Henderson is a talented young goalkeeper with a bright future ahead of him. Jose Mourinho have seen him from close quarters from his days at Man United manager. It will now be interesting to see if the Portuguese tries to bring him to London. Then we have a look at some more Tottenham Spurs news here. So I don't know if we can cover it, but yes, Tottenham top target Julian Nagelsmann open the Premier League move. So I don't know if it is here. If the news article here. But also, there's been a lot of articles about Tottenham with different goalkeepers, like in the Premier League, like Nick Pope and Dean Henderson, being linked to Spurs. Obviously they said with Lloris probably having about 1 or 2 years at his best in his prime. He's 34, probably retire at 30. I'm gonna guess. Will he want to go to a club that wins trophies? I'm not saying Tottenham won't win trophies this season. I think that they have a high chance of winning Carabao Cup final. Even though Man City are in form right now, they can still drop off a form and be at their worst, hopefully, for the Carabao Cup final. And also Tottenham, Mourinho takes cup finals, even if it's Carabao Cup final, even if it was called League Cup final against a team of under 9s, he would treat it like the World Cup final, so I do think that he has a big chance of leaving in the summer. If I was Lloris, having 1 or 2 years left in your prime, would you want to go to the best club in PSG, the best club in France, in the French league, which is PSG, obviously. Not this season, obviously. They've been awful this season, but you can't say they're not the best team in Ligue 1. Would you want to go there? But yeah, so Tottenham ponder move for Burnley goalkeeper Nick Pope. Tottenham Hotspur keeping an eye on Burnley goalkeeper Nick Pope should Hugo Lloris depart this summer. So obviously, I understand why they are looking at different goalkeepers, because obviously, as I said already, will Lloris want to be at a good club? Obviously, Tottenham being Europa League, they have a high chance of getting to the Champions League next season for Europa League. I'm not saying they'll get top 4. I think they'll finish either 5th or 6th. People say they finish 7th or 8th. I don't think that. I believe that if we play our best team now, I think that with Julian Nagelsmann being our next target, obviously Jared Levy has actually came out and said that Mourinho could have his last few games, and he will analyse the next 5 games of Mourinho, and if we don't win at least like 2 or 3 of them, or maybe even 4 of them, if you lose like 3 of them, he might be out the door already, but I don't think personally I am Jose in for now. I'm halfway in, because I'm halfway between in and out, because obviously Jose in because I believe that he hasn't been backed up enough as a boss. I think that if he had the money, we would be flying. We'd be 3rd or 4th, I think. But obviously we haven't got the right players for him. For him at Man United and at Tottenham, he really didn't have a players at Man United, and he doesn't at Tottenham either. But yeah, so I think that that we have a big chance of finishing 5th or 6th, because obviously with Mourinho knowing that it could be his last few games at Spurs, obviously he wants to stay at Spurs. If he doesn't win, I think Dan Levy said if he doesn't win at least 1 trophy this season, he could be out the door. But yeah, so veteran is being linked with former manager Mauricio Pochettino at PSG. And so is Kane, to be fair. I think Kane's been linked to him as well, because obviously, Pochettino is still in contact with him apparently. So obviously you understand why Pochettino would want him at PSG. Daily Mail says Pope has been earmarked as a potential replacement for the World Cup winner. England international Pope is rated at around £30 million. So, that's probably average for a goalkeeper that is as good as Nick Pope. Jose Mourinho also likes Manchester United shot stopper Dean Henderson, and Pope's Three Lions teammate has had to play second fiddle to David De Gea this season. But yeah, so apparently if we have a look at another news article here, how much news articles we have right now on Spurs. Obviously, Spurs have been probably one of the main teams that have been talked about at the moment, alongside with Liverpool. When a team's doing that bad, people want to hear transfer news and how the manager's feeling. But yeah, so Burnley goalkeeper Nick Pope is first choice target for Tottenham. So I've got a quick question for you guys before I carry on. Even if you're another fan of another club, would you rather have in your team Nick Pope or Dean Henderson? But yeah, so if you're going to ask me, I'd personally rather have Nick Pope. I think that Dean Henderson, if he doesn't go to Tottenham, he will go to Dortmund or somewhere like that. But will he want to stay in England? Maybe, because he's English. And, people who come from that country mainly want to stay in that country. Not for everybody. Not for everybody, There's been a few English players that have played in the Bundesliga, such as Mulia, I think his name is, from Bayern Munich, with Cam English, who scored a goal in Champions League yesterday. But yes, according to reports from Daily Mail, Tottenham Hotspur have made Nick Pope their first choice target if Hugo Lloris leaves the club this summer. The situation: the 34-year-old club, 34-year-old has a contract at the North London club until 2022. Has been targeted by Paris Saint-Germain, where he could be reunited with former Spurs boss Mauricio Pochettino. Spurs are aware that Lloris, who is on 100k per week wages, may be interested in a return to his homeland. And obviously Pope, a good choice. Daily Mail claim that Pope has emerged as the club's first choice target. 28-year-old joined Burnley from Charlton Athletic in 2016 and has since developed into one of the Premier League's best performing and most consistent goalkeepers. But would you want him, or who's 28, or someone like Dean Henderson who's 23 years old? So that's enough for the news articles for now, I think. Other news is that last night, it doesn't say any news articles, but last night, if you have a look at, I forgot where it is now, but yeah, so yesterday, for Portsmouth Town, young player Harvey White, who actually, Harvey White, who is 19 years old, is a loanee from Spurs to Portsmouth, has scored his first goal in an England senior game. And also, other news in the Championship for another Spurs player who is on loan is for Norwich City, and that is Oliver Skipp. Scored his first goal in the 95th minute of the game. Another Spurs loanee out. 20 years old he is, and is loaned out to Norwich. Which is good news, for any player. When you score your first goal in any league, his first goal in 32 games, which is, kind of poor, but when you're 20 years old, I think he's kind of like a box-to-box, but on more of a defensive one, I believe. But yeah, he looks promising, he does. He definitely looks promising, which is good to hear. But yeah, so now we're going to preview the Europa League game. I want to probably only have like 18 minutes left of the podcast now. We're going to preview the game now. So, the game starts tonight at 5 p.m. and I'll probably do a preview to the Europa League games in today's 30 news. So Spurs play Wolfsburg tonight in 2 hours to 34 minutes actually. So Spurs are definitely the favourites to win. And we're going to have our predicted lineup. So when this goes out, you probably will have the lineup. You probably will already know what the lineup is. So Tottenham lead them 4-1 after the first leg away. Well, it wasn't away at Wolfsburg, it was granted away at the Puskas Arena, I believe, in where is it? Hungary. They're very hungry. That's awful, guys. So we're going to have our predicted lineup. So I believe for this game Tottenham should play we really should play our youngsters. Give our youngsters a good run out. And also an old player as Joe Hart. So I mean players that don't really start that much, such as Joe Hart. But yeah, so people will be predicting 3-0, 4-0 maybe. I predict if you want my score predictions, I'm going to say it will be 3-0 Spurs, so that will be 7-1 aggregate. So I think in goal should be Joe Hart. And then right back should be Matt Doherty, the 29-year-old from Ireland. I think that he should definitely start right back. And then the two centre-backs would probably be, I'm going to say, Tanganga and Joe Rodon. So Joe Rodon, I don't know if he has an injury or anything. Does he have an injury? I don't really know. But he played 7 games. He's played 7 games for Spurs in the Premier League, and if he's not injured, I think the only players that are injured is Aurier and Celso. I think he should definitely start. And I think he should probably be one of the main Spurs starters. The left back should be Ben Davies, not the best of left backs, but I think we should rest Reguilon for now, as he is our best left back, and we should keep him for the weekend against Burnley. And then if we move to CDM spots, I'm going to say Harry Winks for 25-year-old, and also Moussa Sissoko, 31-year-old French international. They should play CDM, definitely. And I think Jason Owen plays a 4-2-3-1. So I'm going to say as the left mid slash left cam should be Steven Bergwijn, the Netherlands international as well. I don't think he's played for a game for the Netherlands actually, so I'm going to say the Netherlands good bloke. And then cam should be Dele Alli. He's still 24 years old, so he still could have another. If we play him a bit more, I think that he could become a good player, when he's 26, 28, 27. Then right mid, I think that we should play probably Dane Scarlett. I think it should be Dane Scarlett or Eric Lamela. So Dane Scarlett, the 16-year-old, has been playing really good, I think, in the England and in the Tottenham under-18s in that league there. And yes, I think we should give him a good run out. And then up front, I think we should have Carlos Vinicius. Whenever it's like a bad Europa League game, I think that he normally starts. I'm not saying it's going to be a bad Europa League game. I would be doing a reaction to it on YouTube. Not a live one, but I'll practice editing. I'll talk about the end of the video. But yeah, so with that team, I think we can win 3-4-0 maybe. But yeah, so that's my prediction for now. And yeah, so that's really it, guys. I'll give you some more news quickly, as we've still got about 30 minutes left. But yes, it should be a good game. But we'll have a look at some other table news as well. So in Spurs' next, we'll have a look at our next few games and what I think how I think we should do. So the next few games, I'll go over them in our next podcast. So I'll obviously preview the Burnley game in our next podcast. But yeah, so this I believe is it Saturday or Sunday? This Sunday at 2 p.m. we have got Burnley at home. So if it's at Turf Moor, I would definitely probably predict a loss. Probably, I'd definitely predict a. No, I don't mean a loss. I'll probably say a draw, a 1-1 draw or something. But as it's at home, I'll probably predict a win. So I think that should be easy 3 points. If you have a look at early on the season, I don't know if we played them yet. I think we have, obviously. Have we played them yet? Well, we have. We beat them 1-0 at Turf Moor with Heung-min Son scoring the goal. And then, so yeah, that should be probably an easy 3 points, hopefully. I'm hoping to get back to winning ways in Premier League. And yeah, so obviously against Fulham as well, on match day 16 in January, we did drop points against them 1-1. Should have been an easy win there. I think that we could be 6th, I think now, 7th if we won that. I know that we've dropped a lot of points this season. We'll say that, we dropped a lot of points. But yeah, so I think that should be an easy 3 points as well. And then that's away at Craven Cottage, and then we've got Crystal Palace at home. So yeah, that should be good. That should hopefully be an easy 9 points or 7 points. It should be 7 points or 9 points. If it is 6 points or 3 points, that is disappointing out of them 3 games. And then we've got Arsenal away, and me and Joel will be doing a live reaction on Twitch, I hope. And then we'll be, I don't know what we're going to do after that. But then I think that hopefully if we get working after tomorrow's games, we should be reviewing the Europa League, hopefully, on Friday. I haven't spoken to him yet. But yeah, and then we got away to Aston Villa and away to Newcastle. And I won't talk from there on. But then if we have a look at some more news here, it says today, Paulo Gazzaniga to be cut loose by Spurs. Paulo Gazzaniga is set to leave Tottenham at the end of the season. Argentine goalkeeper Gavin Eagle will be allowed to leave Tottenham this summer, according to Football Insider. The goalkeeper has fallen down a pecking order under Jose Mourinho and was last month shipped out to Spanish side Elche on loan. For the moment, he has yet to play a single minute of football in La Liga. So obviously Elche have got Barcelona I think it's this weekend. I don't know what it is, but yeah. So I definitely agree with that. You know, he hasn't been playing at all for Spurs. You know, he's gone out on loan to Elche, and is a really good player. He was really underrated in that 2017-2018 season. I think was it 2018-19. But yeah, one of the seasons is really underrated. He had a really good season. But yeah, so other articles here says Tottenham boss Mourinho insists. Forget what I said after West Ham. So obviously he had a press conference ahead of the Europa League game yesterday. But yeah, so other news as well is what more can we say? Tottenham wonder kid plan spells the end for Sissoko. So Tottenham plans for rising star Oliver Skipp spells the beginning of the end of Musa Sissoko's career at the club. Harry Winks' long-term future at Spurs is also up in the air on the back of a campaign in which he has just made 6 Premier League starts. You know, I remember watching him a few years ago when we played Liverpool at home to Wembley. I remember that was my favourite game ever that I've ever watched at Wembley. I think it was 4-1 final score. A great game, but yeah, I remember that about 5 years ago when he was 20 years old, 21. I remember I thought he was going to be one of the best in the future. I think most people actually thought as well, but then he's kind of fell off a cliff, you know. But he's still 25, so he probably could still have 2-3 years to improve. But yeah. So then the Londoners have mapped out a role for their academy product which he gets regular game time and is a key member of their first team. But yeah, so it seems like that. But the manager does not regard him as an ideal partner for first choice Højbjerg. So yeah, it seems like that. Hopefully, in the near future, he could be, you know, a frequent starter for Spurs. Yeah. So if I look at some other news article here, Andre. Yeah, that's about the league as well. And then predicted Tottenham start the lineup. So this is their predicted start lineup against Wolfsburger. So if we have a look at this one here, this is what they think. They think it will be Lloris, Doherty, Alderweireld, Tanganga, Davies, Winks, Sissoko, Son, Ali, Bale, Vinicius. I think that is too strong. I think we should be resting Lloris. But yeah. But the last thing we're going to talk about now is Europa is top 6 out of reach now. And if I'm going to answer that question, top 6 is not out of reach. But if you're going to ask if top 4 is out of reach, definitely yes, I think so. We're sitting in ninth position, 24 games played, 10 games won, 6 games drew, 8 games lost, a 10 goal. 10 goal difference, and if you can see it there, if it was a focus there, I hope you can see it there. I think so. I like his phone, you know. I like his phone. Can just focus on that. Let me see if it works again. Geez, that's cool, you know. But yeah, so I think that we could have a chance still to finish 6th place. You know, we have a game in hand on Liverpool. Plus another game in hand against Liverpool as well, because obviously we can't play Southampton because of the Carabao Cup final, I believe. No, I don't know why we're not playing in that. I think it might be because of Europa League or something. I don't really know, but the Southampton game is being postponed, so we might have another game in hand with them. But we are 4 points behind them right now in the table with a game in hand to them. So if we win a game in hand, we could be 1 point behind them. But yeah, so it's been a really bad season for both of us since January, especially for them, obviously, having their injuries. But yeah, so we'll have a lot to talk about in foot news as well, such as Champions League, Haaland versus Mbappe, and Premier League as well. yeah, so I think our main goal now is to get top 6. But the main goal is probably to win Europa League, to get Champions League, which will mean that we can get some good players in. Obviously, if we don't play Europa League, if we don't play Champions League, but we play Europa League, or even if we don't play Europa League at all next season, that will definitely make good players that we want to sign put off by not having Champions League football. But yeah, so I think our main focus now is to win Carabao Cup and Europa League. And yeah, so also just another quick news: Julian Nagelsmann is obviously being lined up as next Spurs boss, the Leipzig manager. And obviously, I know Joel said in the comment last podcast that Arsenal wants Sabitzer as well. I think that Tottenham will probably get Sabitzer. I know I'll definitely want him, definitely. But if Julian Nagelsmann comes to Tottenham, I think that I think Sabitzer will come as well, because Sabitzer's been really good under Julian Nagelsmann. And, you know, when a manager leaves a club, you know, sometimes most of the players, some good players, like the manager, will go with them. So that's obviously why Kane has been linked to PSG as well. Then to finish off the episode as well, we'll have a look at our transfers. So the last 5 days has been Kane being linked to Man United, Man City and PSG. That's really only Tottenham transfer news we have at the moment, except for like Nick Pope and Dean Henderson being our main transfer targets. But yeah, so that'll probably be it then, guys. And hopefully next Spurs Show podcast we can really talk about a really good win against Wolfsburger and preview hopefully a must-win game against Burnley. I know I said a must-win game against West Ham, but this is must-win. If we don't win this, Jose's job could be over at Spurs. But yeah, so obviously as I talked about 10 minutes ago, we should have a Tottenham versus Wolfsburger reaction out tonight. So I'll try and find an editing app for my phone, and I'll try and record the whole thing. I'll also stream it on Twitch. No, I can't actually. I'm filming my phone, aren't I? But yeah, so we should be doing that, guys. Me and my dad should be reacting to it then. And obviously it's just like a test one. I don't really care about this going up on YouTube, but if it does, the Wolfsburg game, that's good, and I know it works. If it doesn't, I'll do some more test tries for other games in Europa League on Thursday. So then we can do Burnley, and we can also do Europa League live reaction as well. But yeah, see you guys later. Hopefully, if you guys are new here and subscribe, I forgot to say it as well. And we've got 30 news to come up as well. And we'll be talking about other football news and coronavirus updates about the Spurs, about fans being back on June. I can't remember what date it is now, but I'll ask my dad, and I'll have a look at some roadmaps. But yeah, so I'll probably film that video in about 45 minutes, because I'll finish off my schoolwork now, and also charge up my things, because my iPad is 11%. I hope if you can see it there. That's me, by the way. But yeah. So, yeah. So if you're asking what my hat is, by the way, it's a Tottenham hat. But yes, as I said, next Spurs podcast we should have probably episode 4 on the podcast, which will be next Tuesday. We can obviously hopefully have some good news for you guys about beating Burnley, hopefully. And other news as well. But yeah, so I don't really have much to talk about Spurs show this week. Yeah, remember subscribe to Tottenham fan Chris Cowlin, because I do get most of our news off of him. And not most of it, I'll probably get about 5% of it off of him. And yeah, most of it is off One Football as well. So remember to install the One Football app. I'm not promoted by any of them. But yeah, sponsored by any of them. But yeah, so I'll see you guys later. Remember to subscribe and leave a like down below. Come on, you Spurs. Peace out and bye bye. Why did I do that just then? That's a coy. That's a come on, you irons. But yeah, come on, you Spurs. Peace out and bye bye.